Awesome. Okay, so Francesco, tell us about yourself and your heritage, your roots. Obviously, you live in America. You were born in America, right?
Yes, I was born in Orlando, Florida.
Right, and you have would you say a Sicilian father?
Yeah, my father was born and raised in Palermo, Sicily.
Right. Yeah, and is your mother from Italy as well?
No, she's from Miami, Florida.
Okay, cool. Right. And so how did you kind of get those contacts in football, in soccer? Like, did you start through an academy or something in Orlando or?
Yeah, I played from 3 to about 6. Started with a club called Maitland Soccer. And then when Orlando City formed, I played from 6 to about 15 with the Orlando City Youth Academy.
Right.
And then to better myself and gain more experience to better my game, my dad had some friends because he played as well. My dad was goalkeeper. Okay. So he had still some connections with people that could help me get into a team to better my soccer experience and technical abilities. So I decided to move over, and for right now, everything's going well.
Right. So when you moved to Italy, at what age were you? How old are you right now at the moment?
Right now, I'm 19.
So you're 19. So when you got that first opportunity in Italy, when was that?
I was 15.
You were 15, and that was where? Whereabouts in Italy?
It was a academy called the TF Barbagallo in Palermo.
Okay, so you started right in
to another academy called Monreale, still in Palermo. Then I played with the Palermo Juniores when they were in Serie D. Awesome. And then last year I played Serie D myself.
Played Serie D, awesome. And so and then I saw that you recently went to Mazzara, but you've now left, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So how'd you come across Mazzara? Because it's not far from Palermo, obviously. It's in.
No. I got a call from the team director, the team manager, in August, and I was still evaluating other opportunities that I had, and I thought Mazzara was the best at the moment.
Yeah. And did you play much at Mazzara, or was it just like?
Yes and no. He would alternate a bit, but I wanted to get more playing time, so I got a call from a team up here in Florence to play. So I accepted it.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Florence sync later, because that's probably exciting as well. So in Sicily, how did you find your time in Sicily? Did you enjoy it?
Enjoy it because I have, other than playing, I had my father's parents, my father's sisters, and my cousins were there. So I had a good amount of family to not make me miss my family in the United States too much. So.
Right, yeah. So, but I bet you it was a good feeling connecting with your roots.
Yeah.
Italian-American, Sicilian-American.
Yes.
Unique. Were there any other Italian-Americans with you along the way?
There was one in my team last year in Serie D.
Okay.
But this year he went back to the States.
Right, cool. So there was a fan that asked the question. They said the opportunities in America were the ones in Italy. Were the opportunities in Italy more enticing than the ones in America? Was it easier to get it that way, or was it?
Personally, I think if you find the right people to help you, it can be a little bit easier in the United States because you have those 4 extra years of university to develop your game, where you break into the MLS at 25, 26 from the draft. Here, at already 18 and 19, even 20, if you're not already in that like loop where you're in like first teams getting recognition, it's a little bit harder here because they don't have university where you can play and develop your game. Here, the mentality is different. When you're already 20 years old, they somewhat consider you old already.
Yeah, right. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So have you done any other studies on the side with your football?
I'm currently studying to do my SAT to get my diploma for high school, because since I was supposed to graduate in 2020, but since I was in Italy, I was never able to take the final tests.
Right.
So I'm studying to do that now, because I found out that I can do them. I can do them as well in Italy in person in some universities here. So I'm studying for that right now to finish it.
Okay, awesome stuff.
And then if I get, maybe do college online. We'll see.
Yeah, all right. That's good. Yeah, you got the feet, in the right direction. Basically, what position have you been playing along the way?
Well, my natural position is right wing or left wing.
Right.
But from coaches, I've been used as a right and left midfielder in a 3-5-2. Mm-hmm. I've been used as a right back, a left back, and a number 8. So I've been a little bit all over the place.
A lot of versatility.
But it's my main where I feel like I do the best is right or left wing.
Okay, awesome. Right, so very speedy winger, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the football in Sicily or in Italy in general, in comparison to the one in America, what would you like? How would you say the differences? What are the differences between them? Is Italy more technical, would you say, or more skilled?
I would say they go a lot more on the technical and tactical basis. In the United States, it's a little bit more a little bit more aggressive.
Yep.
Less tactical and technical, but it's there. You find some teams in Italy that put it more on the aggression rather than the technical ability. It all depends on the team, but I would say most teams here are more technical and tactical.
Right. And what have you found easier in terms of like to your style? Has it been Italy easier to play in Italy or America?
Well, the first when I got here was a little bit harder here because I was used to obviously playing with that aggressive mode of the United States. So here at the beginning, when I would play with that aggressive mode, obviously I would, when I would not have the ball, I would run straight towards the defender, and then here with their technical ability would just pass by me easily because I wouldn't like stop and look at that. Most professionals would stop and like in front of him to watch him to like kind of duel with him.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I did have to learn when I'm pressing and stuff like that. And even when I have the ball, I was used to people coming right up on you and attacking you immediately. But here I would say they give you a little bit more time on the ball to actually like control it rather than completely attached to you. But there are people that, depending on the situation, there is when you have to stick up onto people and not let them do stuff. But most of the time they give you that 1 second to stop the ball. But then after you lose that half a second, you're done.
So
you lose the ball.
Yeah. So you've played in Eccellenza, the 5th tier, right?
Yes.
You said you played sometime in Serie D?
Yes, last year I played in Serie D.
Okay, so Serie D obviously has been the highest level you've played in so far? Okay.
Yes.
So the difference between Serie D and obviously Eccellenza, is there a lot there or is somewhat similar in terms of the style?
The style is a little bit, obviously, going up the ring, you find more technical and tactical stuff, like how you see in Serie A. In the lower leagues, it tends to lean more towards aggression. For example, in Sicily, in the Eccellenza, there was a lot of aggression. There was teams that tried to move up to Serie D were a little bit more tactical and technical, but the teams that were trying to maintain the league or trying to not get relegated were more aggressive than tactical and technical. In Serie D last year, I played with Giuliano, so they and we were more a tactical based team, and we played a little bit more like short passes and combinations towards goal. So it was a little bit, and in Serie D there's a lot more teams that, even the teams that do try to save themselves, there are moments in the games where they're aggressive, but then there are also times where, like I said, they'll give you the time to stop the ball and make a pass immediately. If you like everybody, like everywhere, if you stop the ball and think too much and stand on the ball, you'll have those people that come in and attack you. Those two people that come in and close you down to win the ball back.
Right. Yeah. No. So you would say, what would you say has been the hardest team to play so far in your career in Italy?
I would say the team that had to work the hardest to break into the starting 11 was the Giuliano team, because the year before when I was there, they had done a really good season before COVID started. They were in the group with Palermo, and they managed to beat Palermo 1-0 in the Renzo Barbera.
Yeah.
So they were, and when I got there, it was still that team connected together. So to break into the starting 11 with those players, it was tough, but
very satisfying.
I started 2 games, then some club problems kicked in. So
yeah, no, of course. And the toughest opponent that's been there for you, like in terms of player probably, or in terms of a team, have you come across any? Like the toughest you've ever faced?
On my debut in Serie D, we played against another really good team in Serie D in that group, which was Savoia, who also were in the league against Palermo. That was my debut starting debut in Serie D, and the rhythm from the outside, when you watch from the outside, it doesn't look as fast as when, like, playing wise, but when you're in the field, the rhythm of the speed of game is high, really high.
Nice, yeah, of course. And so you've played in all those or with those teams. So you've now left Sicily, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you've gone to Florence to pursue another.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So what team, or is it academy you're playing in Florence now, or?
No, it's still an Eccellenza team.
An Eccellenza team. So what's the name of them?
Montegadini.
Okay, right. I'll have to look them up.
20 minutes from Florence.
Okay, and how are they doing so far this season?
They've had a little bit of struggle, but the team manager, when he called me, said that they were changing most of the team to try to get that maintain that the league that they're in, to not get relegated. So I've practiced with them 3 times now, and they're a good team. I think we'll be able to save ourselves without doing any other playoffs to save.
Yeah, and even like because you've played in Sicily, and now that you've moved to a different region and you're playing in Florence, is there a difference in the type of football you're seeing?
Like I said, in Sicily, there's a lot more aggression, a lot more physical. But here, still physical, but at moments. There are those times, like I said, where the defender will pretend like he's going to come at you hard and try to steal the ball from you immediately, but then he'll back off, and he'll give you the time to stop the ball, and he'll try to, like, make you get confused what you're doing. But as if you're like focused enough and put work in, you'll find out you'll figure out how to, like, work around that.
Right. Just some other personal questions that were asked by my followers. One of them asked a really good question. They asked, what was your football idol growing up?
Ooh, I had a couple. One that I really liked was Dybala, and I like him a lot right now. And one that who went to the MLS as well was his style play. I really like Jovinko.
Giovinco. Yeah.
But who I say I'd most play like would be, I'd think a Dembele, from Barcelona, because he does a lot of those cutting runs towards goal behind defenders, and that's one thing that does come naturally to me, cutting in behind defenders towards goal and wanting the ball either through or over the top. That I beat a lot of defenders that way.
Right. Okay. And so, yeah, so you mentioned Dybala there. Did you ever, you're 19, so I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you're old enough, but you saw him in glimpses at Palermo before. Have you seen some of his football when he used to play for him?
I went to the stadium once or twice because my grandparents' house where I would live was 10 minutes away from the stadium.
Beautiful.
So we'd go to the games once in a while, but up close in person, like meeting him, I haven't met him.
What was it like seeing him at the stadium? Like, just surreal, was it?
Going into the stadium, it was beautiful. The stadium is really, 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 really nice. Especially when you have like a perfect like middle seat to see the entire field, you can see everything. So you can see where they're gonna pass the ball, and you can see all the movements, all off ball movements, which are really important. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, I bet you it would be. So, like, what is your favorite team? Do you have like a favorite team? Juventus.
Yes.
There's been a lot of Sicilian players in the past for Juventus, and also
Yes.
a lot of Sicilians that live in America, Australia, Canada that go for Juve. So yeah, that's pretty good there. And so I think there was another question I had. Um, was there any MLS or academy opportunities you had in America before too, or have you got any in the past?
No, I would play for Orlando City, but I played for I didn't play for the DA, the developmental academy. I played for the team right under, so which was called ECNL. So we would still travel a bit, but we wouldn't travel like the DA. We would travel outside of Florida. We would go to Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, places like that. More in the southeast, we would stay. Furthest we went was North Carolina, but I never had the opportunity to play the DA Developmental Academy. But I did play. I did have offers from colleges after my freshman year because I played at the high school. I played varsity on my freshman year, and I did well. I had 9 assists, which was the most from the team, and 5 goals, which was the second most scorer of the team. And I had offers from colleges, but when I decided to go to Italy, I've kept in contact with some college coaches, but a couple of them went away when they knew I started playing in Italy.
Right. Okay. So moving just back to Sicily, what was your most favorite time in Sicily, like team-wise or moment-wise? What was that?
In Sicily, my favorite time was when I played for Monreale. It was the under-17 teams. We had we weren't the best group technically, but we put that much desire and drive into our games that we had made it to. We were 1 point off first place.
Right. Yeah. So you were right up there then.
Yes. We had that connection of the group that I've in the youth leagues I haven't had before. You find more teams that are connected with friendships and stuff like that in the higher leagues because obviously more people stay longer times. In the youth leagues, you kind of change every year or 2 years, so you don't really have that much of a connection with the team. But this team, we had a really good connection.
Right. And I also had a look at some of the teams you played before, and I came across one video and I saw you speaking full on in Italian. So you speak proficiently in Italian?
Yes.
That's amazing. Did you want to say anything in Italian to like any Italian friends out there or teammates or something like that? Or
I haven't heard any of my Italian
or
teammates.
something?
There was a couple of them that that reached out to me saying when I saw about the interview, and one's name is Rocco Sibilla. Ciao Rocco. He was one another guy that I connected with when I played in Serie D, a younger guy, but he's one that I had a good friendship with.
Right, awesome. So now you're in Florence and you're playing with the Sicilian team. So
Yeah.
And you're obviously still 19, so you're still, you've got a long way to go in your career. But what is your goal, your ultimate goal to achieve, like in your Calcio career?
My ultimate goal is to play in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Not necessarily doesn't have. I'd prefer it to be in Italy, but obviously one of the top 5 leagues is a good achievement to reach when you reach it.
Right. Yeah. And if you were to play, just say if you were to move, like you got the move to like Serie A, and you were to pick a club,
Mm-hmm.
who would you play for? Other than
I would want
your favorite club.
Okay, I was gonna say I would choose the team I would really want to play for is my favorite club. But if I had to choose a different team to play for, I would like or Atalanta because they use a lot of young players from the academy, or I would say a Bologna, Udinese, who are doing well. Or one of the smaller teams, but they're doing well.
Right, yeah. Sassuolo comes to mind. I could see you at Sassuolo maybe one day.
Well, yeah, they're doing really well as well.
You
So
alongside
obviously,
Berardi?
everyone would want to start with that Champions League or Europa League team,
Yeah.
which I would like to play also in one of those. But obviously, to more of my development, to if I was a young player, I would go to one of those teams, like a team that like develops their players, like you said, a Sassuolo and Atalanta. Even though they're in Champions League, they develop a lot of their young players and either continue with their young players in the first team or send them out on loan to other teams in Serie A.
Yeah. And so now that you're in Florence, is there a lot of Fiorentina scouts that come about and watch games or watch training sessions? Because I think
I've heard from players that there are some scouts that come to games because obviously, in respect of Sicily, it's a lot easier to watch games here, even in the lower leagues,
right.
Because from Florence to where I am, it's 20 minutes. From Rome to here, it's an hour in train. Bologna, it's another hour. So it's a lot more connected. Obviously, in Sicily, if you have to get looked at, they'll have to do a further trip, and they don't come as much.
And obviously in Sicily now with, no teams being in Serie B or Serie A, it kind of hurts them more. So,
yeah.
Have you been to go see any like Fiorentina games as well? Or you
Not yet. I got here in Florence 3 days ago, but
right.
I'm planning because for COVID our season got pushed back even further. The restart from the 30th of January to the 13th of February. So on the off days that we have with some of my teammates, we were trying to organize maybe to go see a Fiorentina game, a Bologna game, an Empoli game. That's all near.
Right. Yeah. And well, I think we've pretty much touched base on what I wanted to ask, and your background, your story. Was there anything you wanted to add or mention that you maybe forgot?
Not that I can think of right now. No.
Yeah. Right. So yeah. So I wish you all the luck with you and your football endeavors in Florence. I hope you do really well.
Thank you.
And
I did want to hi to 2 other people that I forgot about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mio amico Giuseppe D'Ausilio e Alessandro Carnicelli. Ciao.
Okay. And so what was I going to say? I was going to say something about an Italian. Oh, completely went blank there. Um, yeah, so yeah, I wish you all the success in Florence, and I hope that the Sicilian teams like Palermo, or I know you got Palermitano roots, but maybe Catania, you might be able to play for them one day if they get to Serie A.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe it's destiny. You're going to be playing for the Rossonero in Serie A.
Maybe.
Take them back to the glory days. It would be nice, and it's
Yeah.
nice because I live in Australia and I'm a Sicilian myself, so
Mhm.
I can kind of resonate with you because you're obviously an American Sicilian that lives that lived and was born in Orlando and have gone to Sicily, and it's
Yes.
really good to see the Sicilians all'estero, as they say abroad, really doing well in their football career and achieving things in Italy, which is really good. And so, yeah, I wish you all the success for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and hope to and thanks for the interview and taking your time. I understand
Thank
it's
you for
a loaded schedule. I probably understand that with everything's hectic at the moment. So thank you
yeah.
for that.
Thank you.
No worries. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be on it. Thank you.
Okay, then, Francesco, thank you and best of luck.
Thank you.
And yeah, all right.
Yes.